What's up, Kanye Nation?
No. Episodes canceled.
Immediately,
It's like
just
see
delete
a
it.
cut,
Delete it.
Take 2.
Yeah, never mind. No, what is up, Pizza Nation?
Pizza Nation,
Obviously,
let's ride.
we do not ride with that fucking idiot. We do not. Sean was just telling me about how he was supposed to be on LeBron James's The Shop,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not going to air because obvious reasons. So
we had to talk.
who could have
Of
guessed
course, there's the podcast and then there's the pre-podcast.
Yeah, there's the podcast before the podcast, Patreon only.
Yeah. Patreon only.
We don't have a
Patreon pending.
That's right. We should get one of those one of these days, but
yeah, we'll figure it out. But
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll do something.
Yeah.
But no, but it's just crazy, man.
It is, but you know what's also crazy? Someone that I hate even more is the Houston Astros. Fuck the Astros. Fuck everything they represent. Fuck Altuve. I just can't deal with their bullshit. It was fun watching Justin Verlander get tattooed as if he was still a Tiger, and I was like, that's the Justin Verlander I remember. So that was kind of fun. The thing that's fucking unacceptable is the fact that the Astros refused to die, and they somehow came back and won that game. So yeah, and Yordan Alvarez is one of the greatest hitters ever. Apparently, he just fucking can't not hit a homer. Like,
and through 7, now it looks like they might go up 2-0 on the Mariners.
Yeah, it's currently 3-2 after a home run blast from Yordan, and I'm just like, God damn it! Like, I fucking the only way that this would be acceptable is if I can finally witness sweet revenge with the Yankees and the Astros and the ALCS, and the Yankees get to just stuff the Astros into the garbage can from whence they came, and the Yankees get to ride on to the World Series. That would be the only way it'd be acceptable. But if I have to see these stupid cheating pieces of shit in the World Series one more time, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. I just can't
throw
take
every
it
trash
anymore.
can that you see out of the window.
Bro, I can't take it anymore. Like, I'm just like, are we fucking serious? Anyway.
But Robert, what's the big deal? Why would you have this irrational hatred over someone and something in the world of sports that would let you have this irrational hatred, Robert? Who could possibly do that?
All right, and the reason why this is different than Tom Brady is because of the fact that these motherfuckers straight up unequivocally cheated to win a championship.
Spygate? Deflategate?
Those weren't that big a deal.
Literally, the Patriots have multiple cheating scandals.
Your team wasn't in the playoffs. It doesn't matter. But
it's widely believed that they cheated during the Rams-Patriots Super Bowl, the first ring that he got.
Listen, the point of the matter here is the fact that we know for a fact these motherfuckers cheated. And more importantly, it cost not only the Yankees from making it to the World Series to win the World Series, but also in 2017, Jose Altuve got the
MVP.
Yes, over Aaron Judge, and that's just simply unacceptable, and it's also inexcusable because honestly, like,
it won't be happening this year. So. I think we know who's winning the AL MVP this year.
I'm hoping that it's Judge. I think it could be Ohtani, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, I guess it could be. I'm like, how do you do it over the guy who broke the AL home run record? But I guess at the same time, Ohtani is pretty damn good at more than one position.
The thing is like, Judge should get it because, like, what he did, I would argue, is more most valuable player worthy, because first of all, that's just a stupid title. Like, most valuable player is so subjective and so strange as like a category, and yet it's held with like the most esteem. And so the thing that I have with it is that I'm like, okay, Ohtani is maybe the Bishop. He hasn't been on the show in so long.
I don't know if he's ever been on. Yeah, that's right.
He used to be on when
he hasn't been on the camera though. He hasn't been on like this setup.
Yeah,
he was walking around like begging for attention, and I was like, all right, just come on.
Yeah. He made it onto one episode at your apartment, and
That's
then
right.
he also would sometimes fuck with our lighting and almost destroy the set, which was my favorite part of
Yeah,
Bishop.
that's right. We used to have these super tall standing lights back in the
Yes.
day when we used to record the pod at my apartment,
Uh-huh.
and Bishop would literally just walk into the living room, and there were multiple times I almost had to like stand up and run
Yeah.
at the lights
He did
because
knock
he
one
was
over one time and then knocked over all those like plants that you had on that little railing thing or whatever. I mean, he was a fucking terrorist, dude. It was
oh,
great.
he's a piece of garbage, but he's
Yeah,
my
dude.
piece of garbage,
I
and
love Bishop.
that's what makes him the best because he's mine.
That's right. Now, anyways, back to the MVP talk. The thing with Otani is that, like, yes, he is probably the greatest player we've ever seen in a lot of ways because he's not only an all-star level pitcher, but he's also an ungodly all-star level hitter. So it's like being able to be both of those makes you the GOAT, basically. You know,
But
he's like Babe
shouldn't
Ruth, but better. But the
right,
thing is
but
that his team is ass. And like, even though he was great, it didn't lead them to any more success. I mean, it did like technically ish, but like, if you take Aaron Judge off of the roster from this year, the amount of times that he had walk-off home runs, the amount of times that he tied the game, or, you know, he scored, I think, the most RBIs in the American League because he was like literally this close to getting the Triple Crown, but he
mhm,
lost his batting average because of all the chasing of 62 at the very end there. It fucked it all up with, you know,
yep.
all that bullshit, but which is really unfortunate. I almost wish he would have just gotten the crown, but it's fine. Anyway, but the thing is
But it's fine. I'm not mad.
it's fine. But like the thing of it is that I'm like, if you take him off the Yankees probably still make the playoffs, but they're not as nearly as good as they are at this point, and definitely I don't think would have won um the American League to where they would have been in the seeding that they were, you know, I think they would have been a wild card team is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
And so like with that, it's like, okay, that could put the Yankees in a position to win the World Series. And I think that if they do win the World Series, it's going to pretty much come off of his shoulders. Whereas Otani, as great as he was, I mean, they couldn't even get above 500.
Right.
So
Robert, really quickly,
yeah,
could
was
I just
Bishop doing some wild shit?
No, this is
Oh,
better. I pulled up I went to one of our old episodes just to show people what it
yes.
looked like when we actually
Yes.
recorded in person. And the
Yo,
best thing is that this was the first thing I saw.
yes! Yes! One of our best bits. Oh, God, I'm
Oh,
so
dude.
sad that that died.
Dude, well, yeah,
Ah,
the bummer too was like
ah,
there were so many things about those episodes, so many micro bits that no
uh-huh.
one saw, but they were funny to us.
God,
Like
we had
Danny,
some really good, like, long-lasting bits that we had going on for multiple episodes, and it's really, honestly, the biggest shame that those died.
I know, like it's like one of those things where it's like we loved recording the episodes in person, but
Yeah.
simultaneously we hated how much effort it took to record the
It
episodes
was
in
a
person.
huge pain in the ass.
So it's just nice to be in our homes. But man, like we used to have
Fuck.
shirtless Danny DeVito that like because that green screen I would edit in images on like whatever we were talking about, right? And
Yeah.
so man, oh my gosh, those were such fun times, dude. We got to do another episode in person at some point just for old time's sake.
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe we'll do, like, some special episodes
Yeah.
every now and again for, like, big occasions and stuff like that.
Yeah. Just give
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I think I just heard
not
the
like
volume
something where
from
it
that.
has yeah, not something where it has to be like super like every week, like big setup,
No,
like
we should definitely do it every now and again, though. I think that'd be
yeah,
really cool. Yeah. Maybe we'll
yeah.
do it for, like, championships or, like, opening days or something like that. I don't know. We'll talk off pod. We'll figure it out, but
Yeah,
that would be cool.
yeah. But
Especially because I
baseball
really yeah.
I'm kidding.
I especially miss fire alarm going off. That was my favorite episode at the end.
So, let me find it because there was an
It's
episode
so good.
oh
I
my
thought it was like your phone or something, and I only heard the one beep, and I was like, "Oh, well, that was cool," you know? And then it starts going again, and we both just look, and it's so good, dude. It's my favorite shit.
Oh, dude, literally, I just and it's funny because I went to the end of this episode hoping this was the one where like the fire alarm went off. But this is actually the one where Bishop was knocking shit down
Oh,
because
where
he
you
went,
start
"We have to
destroying
end it."
stuff?
"Nope, Bishop, don't do it, don't do it."
Yes.
So
Yes.
oh my gosh,
I think
man.
that's when he
So
destroyed the plants. So fucking good, dude.
Oh my god, man. It's like it's one of those it was just too beautiful, man. Like that it was too pure for its time. You know what I
It's
mean?
true. It's
But dude,
true.
but isn't it crazy to think though, like all that time, now here we are. Like this podcast is almost 40 episodes deep.
Damn. Yeah, what episode is this one?
This episode is number 39.
Would you look at that, ladies
So
and
we
gentlemen?
literally are almost 40 deep. Look at us. Who would have thought?
Hell yeah. 40 deep and still ain't nobody's watching. No, I'm just kidding. Still the same amount of viewers. We've come so far.
We've gone from 30 viewers to 40 viewers.
That's
Watch out.
right.
No, we're doing better than that. We got some people that tune in.
If you watch this show and you don't, but if you do, chime in the comments and say something nice, just hit me with a pizza nations in the chat, you know what I'm saying?
Robert, this is clearly an off the rails episode. So
I'm okay with that.
Before we get back on the rails,
Yeah, let's not do that.
Can we talk about our latest meme?
Oh my god, which one? The fucking stupid
well, let's
the
do the
unicorn one, because that one really fucking irritated the shit out of me.
Well, that one would get us canceled for what that means. But also, no, I'm just
the
kidding.
unicorn one.
There's a deeper meaning of what the unicorn means.
Maybe
I thought you were talking. Okay, we're thinking two different memes right now.
We're
anyway,
because I'm talking about when I kept doing that emoji over and over again.
Yeah, for sure.
That one. Yeah,
yep. I know what you're talking about. But
okay.
So originally, what my thought was how every single week.
Oh my god! Yes,
every
week we say Tuesday.
Dude, Tuesdays. We're gonna record Tuesdays. We're like, man, this is gonna be so great. And then for whatever reason, just life happens, right? It's like 1 week it was, I think I had something. The next week, your schedule was pretty busy. Like I genuinely believe it's been alternating almost every time.
I think so. So the way that it originally, and the thing that's our podcast, until we have like a dedicated editor and like staff, it's just gonna kind of be what it's gonna be. But the thing of it is that like we were recording on Tuesdays and then releasing on Friday, which people complained because makes sense.
Everything would go out of date by the time the podcast came out. And that was because we were recording in person at the time.
Even after that. Because it was just like, if you can record on Tuesdays, release on Friday, it's like shit's late.
Yeah.
But then I had softball, so then it was like, okay, well, let's record on Thursdays, and so then
and then we were like, oh, it'd be nice to watch Thursday night football again. We can bring it back to what our old schedule was like.
Go back to Tuesdays.
Yeah, let's do it.
And it just straight up has not. Actually, Sean asked, and then it has not happened. Yeah. Although, I don't know. We'll have to kind of figure it out because like Tuesdays would be like technically more convenient, but then we're gonna just run right back into the issue of like if we release it on Friday, all the shit's gonna be old again.
And they could kick rocks. Who cares?
Fuck having viewers. Let's continue to let this show die.
It's what it was meant to be, Robert. Show was
instead of being the Pizza Palace,
so that it could kick the bucket.
That's right. Instead of being named after the arena itself, it should have been named after the crack house next to the arena. Long live the Pizza Palace crack house,
dude. The damn Illich family
the damn Illich crime family
allegedly burning down.
Allegedly the Illich crime family definitely burning down that crack house.
Don't sue us, Mr. Illich, but also why? Why?
Yeah, why, guys? Come on. And also bring back the fucking whales, all right? We all know that's why the Tigers have been terrible, all right? You got to bring back the fucking whales. So, Jesus Christ, where is this episode going? Back on the rails, though, and speaking of editors, maybe the greatest employee you could ever ask for in any company ever, Naranjan, made a little bit of a mock-up of a leak, Sean.
Yes.
I know you're very aware of this. This is yet another Pistons jersey. Now, before you show it on the screen, I have a couple of things to say first. Number one, Nike / the NBA has too many fucking jerseys. Okay. You got too many fucking jerseys. You have your home, you have your away, you got a fucking alternate, you have the alternate of the alternate, you have the fucking city, you got your fucking throwback. enough. Okay,
So
you get a home, you get an away, you maybe get a fucking alternate, and
so
then you just fuck off after that.
I learned a little bit more about this jersey since we last discussed.
Okay, and you can fill me in when you show it, but I'm just saying, for the fucking record, okay, it is acceptable. It is acceptable to have one home and away, an alternate, and then like a throwback that you wear every now and again for funsies or whatever. But enough of having 30 fucking jerseys and no one knows what the fuck you're wearing. And for the love of Christ, can we stop having solid colors versus solid color games? It should be a fucking white jersey versus a solid color jersey every fucking time, and white jerseys at home. Enough is enough with this shit. Anyways, Sean, proceed to showing us the Werner's jersey.
You watch a sport in hockey that proactively does the opposite of that for all of its games. But anyway,
That's not true.
I'm kidding. But
I was
anyway,
gonna say that's
don't a
not
lot
true.
of home teams wear solid colors and then
So
away teams-
unfortunately, it switched. Yeah, after the '90s, for some reason, they switched in hockey to where all of the home teams wear the more prominent prime colors, and then away teams wear white. And the reason they did that was to sell more jerseys, basically. But I kind of hate it because I miss when the Red Wings wore the white at home. I think our white jersey looks way better than the red.
Can I just say what pisses me off, by the way, before we get back on the
what
rails?
grinds your gears?
Because
you want to know what really grinds my gears?
You unlocked something in me that I always thought was dumb, and
Okay,
I
let's
never
hear it.
brought it up.
I can't wait for this.
So
This
the
is
Red
news.
Wings, in almost every hockey team I see, right,
See, senior.
wears their solid colors at home
Yes.
and white on the road, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
The
Used to be
Griffins
the
wear
opposite.
their white at home and their solids on the road. Explain.
Because they're actually a proper league that does things the right way. That's why, Sean. Yeah, I don't know. It's stupid.
It doesn't make sense.
It is stupid.
Your parent league literally does something the exact opposite way.
That's what I'm saying. And now the thing of it is too is like every Red Wings fan agrees. Like we like the red jerseys, like they're good, but like the white jersey with the red sleeves is the fucking jersey. Like whenever you think of the Red Wings winning the Stanley Cup, whenever you think of the Red Wings, like when you think of Darren McCarty beating the shit out of you know, yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, out of Claude Lemieux in the white, and they're in the homes or in the aways at the time. Like it's bizarro. So whatever. And white hockey jerseys always look better anyways. Like they really just do. Like the Golden Knights' best jersey is their white one, although I love the sparkly gold one as well. But it's just like, I mean, what are we doing? So, anyways, I digress. Show us the Werners.
So this is so I told you originally. So this is the new Pistons alleged leaked City Edition that was mocked up by Naranjan based off of the leak.
Shout out Naranjan for being amazing. Even if the jerseys are bad, in my opinion,
so
he's still amazing at doing what he does.
So context. I originally told you this was a dedication to Werners. I was
fucking
wrong.
Looks like it. I mean, Jesus.
Wrong. That's just what it looks like. So this is actually. So there's a prominent gym in Detroit called the St. Cecilia's Gym, and this gym is known as essentially being the basketball birthplace for for kids like Magic Johnson, for Detroit natives. Like this is where like they grew their love of the game of basketball. And so this is actually like a pretty prominent gym in the city of Detroit. James Edwards III a couple years ago did a pretty interesting piece about this. I'll put it in the description as well. But
is there a graphic for this gym that gives us context as to why it looks like this?
Yeah, for sure. I can.
Okay, I was gonna say if you can pull that up. So it's based on a gym.
Yeah, it's based on like a place in Detroit, like St. Cecilia's Gym in Detroit. So just to give context.
But everybody on the internet has decided it's Werners. I mean, let's be honest.
I mean, everyone that's looked at it. So this is St. Cecilia's in Detroit.
That is a church.
Yeah, it's a church that, people went and played. Obviously it's a church, but obviously it was also.
Do they have like a logo?
It says St. Cecilia's Gym on the front of it. So, no, this is just all we got. But, yeah.
So where did the like stars and the like throwback style D come from?
I'm sure there will be more of an explanation.
Yeah, when they unveil it.
Uh-huh.
Also, yeah, why is it like Michigan State green? Like Michigan State fans are gonna love this jersey and they're gonna rock the fuck out of it. But I think Michigan fans who fuck Michigan fans anyways, but like Michigan fans are not gonna love it. So
Yeah,
that's kind of strange.
this was like this was seen as essentially like Detroit's proving grounds over the years. Some players that came through this gym were, Magic Johnson, Chris
Mm,
Webber, Jalen Rose, like some of
mm,
the best players ever like come out of Detroit. And this is like
right.
over on the west side of Detroit. This is this is essentially like this was like in like the midst of like a bad part of Detroit and was like kind of seen as like a beacon of light and kind of like a safe like space in the community, like a place that people could go.
Right.
But this is what the gym looks like. So I mean
Oh, it's green.
yeah,
Okay.
so a lot of it's green in there. So I'd imagine that specifically, to like the Cecilia color scheme, if I
Yeah,
had to
yeah, yeah.
guess. So,
I wish I
yeah,
could see that center court better. I wonder if that's
yeah, let
where
me
it comes from.
there
Yeah.
is a photo of that. Let me show that
Okay.
to you.
All
So,
right.
here is that right here. So,
Okay. I mean, it
mhm,
still doesn't really explain the jersey, but I
yeah.
kind of wish that the lighthouse was on the jersey. That's kind of lit.
Yeah, I mean, overall, like I think we'll learn more about because these all this is right now is just a leak,
Yeah, I was gonna
right?
say pull up the actual leak itself, like the T-shirt, or because it was like a jersey that got
Mhm.
leaked, like one of those Fanatics like jersey type things.
Yep. So
Yeah.
the jersey mock-up that we just showed isn't even technically like the real jersey. That's just a mock-up of
Oh,
the
that's right.
leaks. So the
I
leak
keep
that
forgetting
we
that.
yeah, so the leak that we got that Naranjan took and essentially he just took what we saw. So this is the photo of the jersey. Obviously, it's got, Cade stuff on the front and the back. So, I
Yeah.
mean, it's pretty much gonna look like this, right? Overall, I mean, obviously, I know a lot of people are saying it's Werner's, and I still wanna, to be honest, like before I make like a proper judgment, because like I think a lot of those things on like I think a lot of these jerseys to me, like I know a lot of people don't care about the story of the jersey or like the story, but like especially when you're like talking about the city edition, like to
Mm.
me, one thing this at least has that we didn't have for years was like intentionality. Because like if
Yeah.
that's truly like what the jersey's based off of, and like that's the story behind the jersey, I think that's awesome.
It's
And
the first time it's ever been cool
yeah,
because all of our other ones were like, "Ooh, it's the Motor City,
it's
get
literally
it?"
like, guys, Motor City. I literally have those jerseys laying around. Let me go grab one as I
They're
literally
fucking terrible. The only good one is the red and blue striped one. That one's actually fire, and I actually kind of wish that they would like maybe bring it back, not like permanently, but like I like that one. In fact,
all
I
right.
think it's the one Sean's about
So
to show us, but the gray one
I
sucks.
have in front of me.
Yeah. Oh, I keep forgetting he played for us.
Yeah, the just before it was like, but guys, Motor City.
I was just saying while your headset was off that I actually love that jersey specifically, the red one with the blue, and I actually kind of wish that they would wear that one again sometime because I do think that one's fucking hot.
This is the
But like
one
the
that I do
gray
like.
version is horrible.
Yeah, like this is like of that Motor City era
Hmm.
of jerseys that we had. This is definitely the best one.
They're
I
amazing
remember,
because I love the all red.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
what like really like red Pistons jerseys are just
they're hot.
they're the greatest. And
Uh huh.
so, if it were my opinion or if it were up to me, we'd replace the road blues with reds, but that's just me. But at the same time, ultimately, like I said, this just saying the Motor City, this having like some of like the history and like if this is like what Big Sean's like, if this is indeed Big Sean's first jersey, I think he did a pretty good ode to Detroit. And so overall, I like, yeah, it looks like a Werner's can, and you can't escape that reality every time you look at it.
Sure.
But I mean,
Well,
overall,
especially
like,
because of the fact that the D itself, when you compare it to the V font on the Werner's can, it kind of just looks like it.
right.
But I will say, like, looking at this, so my initial reaction, and you'll remember, is I didn't even think of Werner's at first. The first
You
thing
thought
I
of the
thought of was
mhm.
the Dallas Mavericks throwbacks from
and I
like 2
think
years ago.
and I think the coloring on the stripes
The
here,
blue is what did it.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I think
Yeah.
that doesn't necessarily help because, like, keep in mind, this is just a mock up. So
Yeah.
he just took the design and, like, didn't really do anything with the stripes.
Which again,
So
amazing job, Naranjan. You're the best.
I
But
mean, but it also does look like, because like if you think of like the throwback Mavericks jerseys, like a lot of them they did have green jerseys back in the day for their away.
sure.
So like it's not like unforeseen. For me, like I know a lot of times people are like, "Oh, well we look like this team." Like I don't think we've ever had a green jersey before. And
Yeah.
quite frankly, I never thought we were gonna have one, but
Uh-huh.
like if we were, like this looks pretty cool. Like
Yeah, I think I'm very interested to see what the final actually looks like, and so I don't really want to judge too harshly based on a mock-up that our friend made.
yeah. Yeah.
But I will say if he got it completely correct and that is indeed what it looks like, I don't love the actual jersey itself, but I love the story behind it, and for that reason I would let it go and I'd be okay.
Right.
I would say strictly based on design, I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, it would just be kind of weird because I'd be like, we're not green. Why the fuck is it green? What are we doing? I will say this. I feel like upon kind of looking at it, jerseys typically are pretty close. Like, they try to get the primary color to kind of match. I kind of almost wish it was white with like, maybe green lettering, is like almost an inverse of what it is, but it's whatever.
Mhm.
Um, but no, I think that ultimately they'll be pretty cool, and I think it's also a case of once you see them on, I think
Yeah.
that'll be really cool, and it'll
There's
also be
also gonna be a
interesting.
there's also gonna be a court to accommodate
Right, of
to
course.
so Naranjan, I don't know how he got this, but like he went the whole other level where not
Yeah.
only, did he find that picture and post it, he has the dates of when they're gonna debut. He has the dates of each game they're gonna be worn. He found out there was gonna be a special court. I'm like, man, this guy just went all in. So shout out Naranjan, our
Yo, does
guy
he,
out
like,
here. Just
work there or something? Like, how the fuck does he get this information?
he's just that good,
Well,
and
okay.
somehow he's on our payroll.
Apparently. I'm like, can we have a beer sometime? Anyway. I'm
When he
just like,
turns
"What?"
21, yes, he is currently
Fuck.
still in high school.
Bruh. Wow.
Isn't that insane?
Shout out to the shout out to the greatest high schooler I know, apparently. So, and I don't even know him. I just know him from
It's
Twitter mostly.
Yeah, that's true. That's
So,
true. I'll get to
Naranjan, you're
meet
the
him
shit,
next week in
man.
person. I'm excited about that.
Hell
We
yeah.
uh we have opening night for the Pistons coming up next week, so I'm super pumped about that. But dude,
Let him know that we stand him on the Pizza Palace.
oh, 100%,
Yeah.
100%. We funny enough, one of our first episodes, we actually, before Naranjan even worked for us, we actually showed one of his merch designs back in the day.
Yes.
And now here we are. He's going to be making merch for us. So that's
Yeah,
pretty
that
sick.
is actually really crazy. Is I do remember that. I was just like, damn, dude, this guy makes some really cool stuff. And then actually when we did our city edition like thing, I think some of the mock-ups we looked at were his.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
and he's come up with like mock-ups and designs in the past of like his own unique stuff. He's just insanely talented.
So good.
You know
Yeah.
who's not talented, Robert?
Would that be Russell Westbrook?
Well, yes, but also okay, now that you brought him up, let's
Let's
on
talk
that.
about how the Lakers are in mid-season form.
So I was watching this game last night.
All right.
Specifically, I was watching the Lakers Timberwolves preseason game, and all throughout the
These
broadcast,
Timberwolves?
yes, these Timberwolves, the
Nice.
Timberwolves that were without Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert, and still managed to be leading by double digits while the starters were on the court. Anyway, yeah, those Timberwolves. At one point, by the way, the Lakers missed 16 straight threes. So, they,
Maybe,
like,
maybe we should have put that team in dog shit, huh?
yeah, 100%. I wanted to. I
Mm,
definitely wanted to.
mm.
But anywho, someone told me otherwise. But but the Athletic released this clip earlier today, specifically from last night, and this was like during like starting lineups, right after like they announced like who was going to be starting and everything. They did show like there's a little bit longer version of this clip. Russ like did greet LeBron as he like was being announced, but right as they were like, all right, bring it in, is when Russ ran away like this and was completely separate from the team huddle at the beginning of the game. And just,
Yikes.
everyone else is proceeding business as usual. This isn't even the only clip like this from last night, Robert. We have another one.
Oh,
And,
hell yeah.
and
I was
this
just
one
go ahead.
this one might be like even more blatant because
Yikes.
so Patrick Beverly
Pat
was
Bev.
our guy P Bev was
Yes.
calling a huddle during in the middle of the game, trying while the T-Wolves are lining up to shoot a free throw, they're trying to, he's trying to essentially get some leadership on the defensive end.
Sure.
And so naturally, he gets everyone, all right, bring it in, bring it in. Everyone comes over. Come on, Russ. Come on, Russ. Come on, Russ. And he's like, oh, okay, I'll just stand right here separate. So 2 times in one night, like he's like, come on, Russ. Come on. Come on. Get in the huddle. Get in the huddle.
And
He's
then
like,
he has
yep,
to
I'm cool.
awkwardly be like forced to in a really weird way.
And like there's the history between Pat Bev and Russ. There's all of the all of the reports out there suggest that like a Russell Westbrook trade could in theory happen any week now. It's just a matter of when at this point. It almost feels like they actually postponed Darvin Ham's introductory press conference because they reportedly had a Russell Westbrook trade they were working through. Like a lot of things suggest that like
Russ is going to be gone.
Yeah.
Which thank God, because I have a lot to say about him, but I'm going to let you finish.
Yeah. And it's probably going to be a while before that happens. The Lakers keep trying to insist, they keep trying to insist that, that like everything's good. Even Russ today was asked about that video and he said, you can cut any video and make anything you want out of it. I know I'm a genuine team player,
Oh, that's some Kanye shit.
Which the thing is like, they're to his credit, like he's shown up, like he's been there, but like,
I mean,
anyone that thinks this is going to be better than last year just hasn't been paying attention because all the signs are there that he doesn't really love being there. They don't really love having him there. They're kind of like, they're trying to figure out what best lineup works with him on the court because they could either like bring him off the bench as the 6th man, but like, what's the odds of him saying he'll do that? And
his ego's too fucking big for that.
Yeah, man. So like my like the thing always with Russ, it was never like a thought of could this work from a talent standpoint because Russ had all the talent.
He don't anymore.
Well, he doesn't anymore, but part of why he doesn't anymore is because that same stubbornness is what led him to not develop those things in the first place, right? Like how long have we known that Russell Westbrook can't shoot a 3? Years.
True.
Years. And when it was brought up that he needs to get better as a jump shooter, otherwise when he gets in his 30s, he could have a very stark. This is literally what people were saying could happen all along. And he's in a position now where I don't even know if a rebuilding team would let him play for them. He honestly might only be getting a starting spot outside of the Lakers in Europe right now.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I was just going to say, like one of my big questions is who the fuck's going to trade for him? And secondly, if you trade for Russ, like you're not starting him. So like I don't.
The only teams that have any interest in trading for Russ are teams that are rebuilding, and it's not necessarily even for Russ, and because him coming in would mean that they would lose more games. It's really more so the fact that if they trade for Russ, they're getting they're getting those 2027 and 2029 first round picks that the Lakers have in their.
That's a good point.
So their whole thing, like right now, like the one team that there's like a known deal on the table is the Indiana Pacers. And they would send Miles Turner, who's like a really versatile big who can shoot the 3. And then Buddy Hield, who's another 3, like he's like one of the best 3-point shooters in the league.
Yep.
They could in theory go trade for those guys right now. The only thing that is holding them back from doing that is
With all
because
those
the
picks.
Lakers are holding on to the belief that they could potentially get something better if they just hold out a little longer. Because of this whole Victor Wembanyama like tanking sweepstakes we're about to see, like in theory, more teams could be trying to tank, so more players could become available. You bring those first and second round picks to a team that is trying to go for Victor Wembanyama, and maybe you can do something a little bit better. But even then,
It's such an irresponsible
it's
way to
but
manage a team, by the way.
yeah, but that's what the Lakers have been all this time, is been just waiting and hoping for that star to come to LA and for things to work out, right? Like that's what
That's just
happened.
not the fuck how that's gonna happen.
Well, like that's what happened like throughout the 2010s. The Lakers were
Right.
terrible. And the entire
Right.
time they were just waiting for a free agent to come to LA and bail them out,
Didn't happen.
which which it didn't happen until 2017 when LeBron came to bail them out.
Right.
Or
And then they only won a
2018.
championship because of the whole bubble situation.
Right. And they also won a championship because they went and traded all their future assets to get a superstar to put around them. But the problem is that that star might also be a form of washed. So it's
Super washed.
like Anthony Davis shot 19% from 3 last year. 19%.
My
Not
man.
and even though he missed time, he played 40 at least 40 games. Half a season isn't like that's not a fluke.
You know what he is? He's kind of, you know how like you have, like you buy a shirt and it's nice, it's new, you're happy about it. And then it gets like demoted to like night shirt, you know, when it starts to get a little, starts to get a little
No, I'm
crispy.
sorry. It gets demoted to night shirt.
Yeah, like one that you don't wear in public, like one that you wear like lounging around the house, like you haven't
Mm.
left the apartment or like you're just kind of like in sweatpants and you just throw on like that bullshit shirt that you're like,
It's
if I
like,
drip
yeah,
some ketchup on it, it's like who gives a fuck? The logo's all crusted to shit. It's like all fucked from the wash. It's like a little deep fried at this point. Like there's a stain on it that you can't remove. It's like a little weathered. It's got like dish towel like material to
yep,
it now where it's like just
yep.
sort of like thin in some weird spots. Like the armpit's a little fucked. Like, yeah, it's one of those. And then he's somehow getting even worse than that to where he's
But
now
it's
like
like,
Goodwill shirt. Like he's went from like night shirt to like Goodwill shirt.
but it's weird though. But yeah, because it's literally like this shirt started out being a shirt from like let's say like this
Mm.
crusted, decrepit shirt you got
Mm.
was a Gucci shirt. Let's say it was like a
Like a year
$2,000
ago.
like Louis Vuitton shirt that like this is one of the nicest shirts you could ever own in your
Sure.
entire life.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, this shirt just keeps having a problem. No matter how many times you throw it in the wash, it always has a stain that's left on it without fail. And then
Yeah.
this shirt goes home for the summer, and this shirt stops practicing basketball at a consistent. Maybe this shirt analogy fell apart, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, the shirt literally fell apart, but yeah. It's nobody totally is like that, man, where he's just so washed, man. It is what it is. And
I mean,
honestly,
he
like
has.
I've never liked Russ, to be very transparent, and like so I've kind of been just waiting for his downfall
He did.
because I just feel like he's such a dickhead, and I feel like the chickens are coming home to roost here. Because here's the thing, right? This guy has not wanted to take any accountability or responsibility at literally any stage of any point of his career ever. And he also was too fucking lazy, like you said, to actually work on his game so that he could be good well into his later years. And also, this fucking crybaby somehow ended up on the Lakers, the Los Angeles Lakers, which is one of the most prestigious teams in the world to be on. You get to be there. You get to play with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Okay, so like you're literally in the most enviable position any basketball player could ever be in, and yet you're going to act like a complete jerk. Like the whole time, you're like, oh, I'm not going to do team huddles. I'm not going to listen. I don't want to be on the team. I'm going to fucking fuck you, dude.
And
I'm like,
it's
anyone would be lucky to be in that position that is a fellow, basketball player, whatever,
well,
superstar. It's like, fuck off, dude.
and it's the persistence that he's gonna keep because we've seen multiple times, right? Like
Mm,
other stars compromise to play with LeBron James.
right.
We saw Chris Bosh do it.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Kevin Love do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Russell Westbrook came to town, everyone assumed that he was just going to do that same thing because that's what the third guy around LeBron does, right? That's
Yes.
just what they do. But
And it's what he fucking should do.
well, like what people don't realize is that it takes a special type of player to be a superstar and to completely take all of their like ego and put it to the side. Like Chris
Yes.
Bosh and Kevin Love, like before they joined LeBron James, were
Mhm.
all bona fide number one options on their teams.
Yes.
They all got as many touches as they wanted. They
Yep.
all could have won numerous personal accolades. They all were all-stars, all NBA. But then they come and play with LeBron and they completely put that to the side because they know that's what it takes to play with LeBron, right? Like you have to have that type of like it's one thing for
LeBron James is arguably the greatest player that ever lived. You're not going to fucking outdo him on a basketball court. You're just not going to fucking do that.
well, but even then though, like even if and like part of this that's so intrinsically infuriating
Hmm.
is that this was obvious from when the trade happened. Like,
Yeah.
right when I saw like, even it like, let's say Russ did be a good teammate. Let's
Mm.
say let's say his character wasn't even in question right now, right?
Right. He was a good dude, team player. He's there 100%. He's bought in.
Still can't hit a jump shot to save his life.
Sure can't.
Still a liability on the defensive end.
Very much so.
Still a turnover machine when he's not necessarily getting his own buckets. And if he's not scoring, what is he doing?
It's a very good question.
Did something just happen in that baseball game?
Sorry. Yes, my boy J-Rod just hit a fucking blast, but it didn't go out. But he is on second now, and so that's nice.
Hey, you know what? That's something.
It is a 2-4 game, and hopefully the Mariners can figure something out here. They're kind of my ex-wife of a team, you know, like that used to be my team. I used to
Right.
be a Mariners guy, and then I just got so fed up of watching them not try and just constantly sell all their players that I was like, fuck you. And so then I started rooting for the Yankees like a fucking piece of shit. And then finally, now the Mariners are actually trying and are actually really good and made the playoffs. And you know, I'm just happy for him, you know? Like the
Uh-huh.
Yankees at this point, it's too late. It's my team. But like the Mariners feel like, you know, they're in there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So go Mariners. But yeah, no, back to Russell Wilson or Wilson. I mean, honestly, they're basically the same guy.
I mean, they
They
really
really
are.
are.
You're
They're
both
both
cooked.
guys that nobody fucking likes. Like their entire locker room hates both of them. They can't play anymore. They're washed up. And they're just too they have too much ego and they're too full of themselves to accept it. And Sean has now seen some information, I'm guessing, that that might be interesting to us folks. What is it, Sean?
So Phoenix's city jersey just leaked.
Oh, yes, please, please, please put this on screen. I cannot wait to shit on this. Assuming that it's bad. I'm just going to assume it sucks. Oh.
I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, look, first of all, look at
Oh.
the numbering.
Okay, hold
It's
on.
got like
Hold on.
the yellow, the red, the
Yeah, yeah,
white,
yeah.
and the blue.
Let me digest this a second
Yeah,
here.
that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just like, I can't tell if I think this is unadulterated garbage
Uh-huh.
or low key heat.
So, honestly, at first impression, here's what I think. I think it had every potential to be hot as fuck. I think the colors are amazing. I think it's kinda got, like, a weird, like, Flint Tropics thing going.
Uh-huh. Yep.
The issue that I'm having right now, I feel like the logo just being plain black's a little bit boring, like, they coulda spiced that up just
You know
a
what
little
this
bit of
looks like to
something,
me?
something. And then the number, I think the number being straight down makes it look like a practice jersey, and if they just put it like, you know how some of those old jerseys used to have, like, the logo and then, like, in the lower, like, side, they would do the number? I think
Yeah.
that would be
I,
tight.
I was even gonna say here, this looks like to me, this looks like a G League version of a Vice jersey.
Yes! Yes!
Like
Yes!
this looks like the Grand Rapids Gold have a Miami Vice night coming up.
Yes! That honestly, no, you just nailed it. It looks like a G League version of, like, a cool like, if a G League team had that, I'd be like, "This is the greatest G League, you know, jersey that's ever existed."
Could you Did you see the new Minnesota jersey that leaked?
Oh no. Oh yes, you showed me. Oh god, please pull it up so we can also shit on that. Also the fucking Astros one, and I just want to die.
Oh, SpongeBob.
Why?
Why?
Does anyone know why it looks like that? Like, is it like flags or something like that that
I
I'm not
think
aware
that's
of?
I mean, I think that's something with I think it's something with the state of Minnesota.
Let's go
It's
Wolves.
well, it's okay. It's okay. Actually, it looks like it's inspired by there's a Bob Dylan mural in Minnesota.
Oh, that's what
So,
it's trying to be.
uh-huh.
Yeah, because Bob
So,
Dylan's from Minnesota.
mhm. So I guess that's what it could
Oh,
be, but
it
like
doesn't look anything like it, and it
I know.
it doesn't reference Bob Dylan at all. It's
I
not good. It's not
I
good.
I
How have they not had like a purple jersey with like Prince font yet? Like,
I
how the fuck? Minnesota, listen, guys. If by some chance, there's like 12 people that watch the show, but if one of you is somehow the guy in charge at the Minnesota Timberwolves who makes the fucking decisions for this shit, okay? Or if you know the guy, guys, a fucking purple jersey with Prince the Prince font would be so fire. He's from Minnesota. He's the best thing that ever fucking happened to your state. I mean, are you shitting me, you guys? I
I
mean,
think these
let's
should be
figure it
the
out.
real ones. I'm not a professional by any means, but I think my rendition could really take off.
I mean,
Rawr.
can we can we look at this fucking Danny Phantom fucking furry looking ass jersey? I mean, okay, Naranjan, if you're watching this, you're not, but if you are, if you could do like an actually good version of this and give us a mock-up of that for next episode, I would fucking love you forever. That would be amazing.
If
The
you
amount
could
of
just
times that we accidentally, I mean, not accidentally, but the amount of times that we just shit on Minnesota is so unfortunate on this show, especially since I now actually unironically fucking love Minneapolis St. Paul. But yeah,
you're literally wearing a Minnesota like Timberwolves shirt right now.
true. It's true. Yeah, I have a lot of Minnesota stuff now. I've got this. I have I've got a fucking what's his name jersey, one of the throwbacks.
Dude, so all of them.
Yeah, well,
Kevin
one of them.
Garnett?
Yeah, I've got a Kevin Garnett, but it's like one of those ones where it's like
All
a
right, well, this pod
throwback,
is
but they
done
changed the
forever. I want to
colors.
thank you all so much for tuning in. He's like, what's? Oh yeah, Kevin Gar. Oh yeah, that
Kevin
guy.
Garnett, yeah.
Have you ever watched him play basketball, Robert?
Probably not. I wait, isn't he? He's in Uncut Gems, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm most familiar. I got to be real with you. So anyway,
That's understandable. I will say though, there's been some cool
oh
design.
yeah, the guy from the Uncut Gems.
Yeah. His most iconic thing, his biggest contribution to society.
Yeah, that's
his
right.
role
Him
in
and
Uncut
he
Gems,
had
which is
the black opal, that big rock that helped him win that playoff game for the Celtics. Yeah.
if only that was real. Oh my
The
God.
best part is that I've
there's this
never seen
cool-
that. Oh fuck, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Holy
there's some.
shit.
Yeah, I saw these. Like these have been around for a while. But this
Yeah,
is a
that
pretty
looks
cool.
like the license plate.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool concept. Like the Minnesota State Edition jersey.
Holy shit, I love
Mhm.
that. Yeah, I don't know how many people are familiar with their license plates. I've seen them a few times. It looks just like it, kind of.
Yeah, it shows. Let me pull it back up. It actually shows a mock. It shows that in the top right corner, the license plate, just to give for a plate for.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. No, that's oh my god, those are hot. Holy shit.
Aren't those cool?
Those are so cool.
Yeah, but instead, we're getting
We're getting Six Flags. I mean, it literally looks like it looks like, you know, that bald guy that does the fucking the
But you know what? You know what's the
like,
part
it
that
looks like
gets me
shit.
is how it looks like they worked really hard on
Uh-huh.
one part of this jersey
Uh-huh.
and just phoned in the rest. It looks like by the time this jersey was like, ready to go, look at this font. It looks like he's typing a paper. It looks like this is for
Yeah,
a
it's not
college
great.
Minnesota. Like
I gotta be
what is
honest.
that?
This it kind of you might actually be too young for this, but do you remember like dial up? Do you remember
Yes.
like okay, do you remember when like images on the computer would be loading and it only loaded like
Yes.
some of it for a minute? It
Yes.
kind of looks like that shit. It kind of looks like an image is like sort of loaded and you're still like waiting, and then like your dad like picks up the phone and he fucks the internet and you're just like, God damn it. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, that was
Oh
the
my lord.
best.
It's always like whenever these jerseys leak, it's all like I don't know
Is there
what
any
it is.
more?
Well, like I mean, this all started from the jersey. Like I mean, there's always jerseys
Okay.
leaking. I
Well, for
mean,
sure, for sure.
yeah, I honestly can't keep track of them all the time, but it's
Dude,
like
I love a good jersey leak because I just love uniforms. I just you know me well. I've got an unhealthy, weird obsession with the fashion of sports.
I will
I
say
really love sports fashion.
the one tweet that killed me.
Here we go. Let's see it.
Sneak peek at the Pistons City Edition at Stadium.
This hurts my soul how accurate it is. Oh no.
Oh, the Pepsi Max jerseys, dude. I
The
can't
Pepsi
unsee it.
Max fucking sent me. That's not immense.
Oh wait, we actually do have the Miami Heat 2022 Oh, we got
Uh-oh.
some more. We got some more. I,
Uh-oh.
I forgot how many
Uh-oh.
leaked this week. Holy
Here we
cow.
go. Please lay them on me. First of all, careful with me here now. You know I love the Miami Heat, and so gentle now. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got.
All right, well,
Come
first
on,
of
I'm
all, I want to start with the
warming me up.
Spurs because the
Okay.
Spurs, this is such a bummer. They might have the best city edition, and they're going for Victor Wembanyama this year.
Mm.
This was posted and then quickly deleted. So this is a player wearing the city edition. So
Bruh.
this doesn't feel very alleged to me.
Oh yeah, I've seen this. I've seen this leak a couple of times.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
these are
it's
hot.
fantastic. Because they did like
The
a white version before.
Yes.
And I like this. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they did
That's hot.
so Miami City Edition.
Yeah, those Spurs ones
I
are
don't
good.
know if you're gonna be happy about it.
Oh, it's the white version of the ones from last year, isn't it? Yeah, it's the white ones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know,
These
and
are
I
terrible. These are terrible.
yeah, it's here's the thing, like I know what they're going for with like that mixed letter from all of the different eras. Like I get
Uh-huh.
it and it is cool in theory. I just think in practice it has always kind of looked a little ransom note to me. And honestly, they've oh Jesus, those were the worst ones. Holy
Oh my lord, just
um
city of brotherly love. It's like cool, but like no.
who I mean, well, they're about as sus as their name is. I mean, fuck me, that is rough to look at.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
don't like that. That looks like that was designed by like a theater kid. That's not good. The Miami ones, honestly, like they did grow on me eventually, like the black one with like the ransom note kind of lettering. It was like, all right, whatever. Um
The white one's terrible.
the white one seems worse than the black one. And the black one was already bad and we shit on it really hard when those came out. And I think that over time I've kind of just like gotten less angry about them and kind of thought they were okay. But the white certainly seems to be a bit worse. Seems to be a bit worse.
Seems to be.
Yeah, it's not great. Listen, when I see Jimmy Buckets just blazing up a defense with those, I mean, I might be all right with them. But
Here's
yeah, it's a
another one
little
I
rough.
like.
Oh,
This
here we
is
go.
this is Dallas's.
Okay, the Mavericks. They have yet to have a jersey I like. Oh,
These are heat.
those are actually really good. Now
Yeah.
they're a lot like the jerseys that you hated last year. They're almost identical, except that the font is fantastic. They got like a
I think
Sega
these are
font.
I'm not sure if these are like a throwback or like what this
Yeah.
font is, but
It literally looks like Sega. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It
it's
kind of
got a
looks like
retro
or
look
like
to it.
Atari. Yeah.
Mhm.
Those are hot.
I for one am a big fan of what they're doing here.
Yeah.
I might not be a big fan of the roster they're putting on the court as much as the jersey, but the
Nort
jersey
good.
itself I do like.
Yeah, I feel like Dallas is a team that I've wanted a jersey of just because I like Mark Cuban, but not because I really care about anyone on the team. But all their uniforms have been pretty ass. But these are pretty good. Those are pretty
Yeah,
good.
for sure.
Do we have any other ones, or is that
Dude,
it?
I literally just keep scrolling and I just keep seeing more and
Let's
more,
see it. Let's
like,
keep it going.
more and more leaked
I
jerseys.
like this. Let's
So I
let's keep it
believe
up.
these are
I want to see the Bulls.
so these are I don't know, I don't think I've seen the Bulls ones be leaked yet.
Rough.
However, they did leak the potentially the Magics. And I'm still
The
even like, it
Magic.
looks like this one's like very pattern heavy. So like if you look specifically, like there's like that deep ingrained, like kind of like checkery kind of pattern. Like you can kind of see it better in this lighting, like kind of up at the top. It's just still a little hard to see on your end, I'm sure. I'll send it to you. But I mean,
Okay, I kind of see what you're saying.
yeah, it's I mean, these
The
are
Magic fucking suck at making anything. Like they can't do literally anything right. I mean, Jesus. You showed me a jersey earlier where it was like this awesome like blue like one or
yeah, and
whatever.
then they had the
But then they
camo.
have camo down the side and it looks like shit, dude. It's so bad. Like I don't get it.
Yeah. I'm in firm agreement there.
Yeah, that's rough. That
Uh-huh.
is I'm trying to look at it now here. Yeah, okay. It's like fish scales almost. The Orlando looks kind of cool, but it kind of almost looks like they're ripping off the Pelicans. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Although, well, they kind of look like fish hooks. Oh, it's fish scales and fish hooks, Sean.
Oh, that makes
Which doesn't,
sense.
well, it does and it doesn't, because if you know anything about Florida, the problem with Orlando is that it's right in the middle of the landmass, and it's not on a coast to where you can go fishing.
Mm.
So that's like kind of awkward there, but hey, you know, if it was me, honestly, I would move the Orlando Magic to Tampa and just call them like the Tampa Magic or something, or the Tampa Bay Magic, because like every other fucking team like near them is over in Tampa, so just fucking scoot them over there and then just,
Yeah,
you know,
there's one pretty key element to them being named the Orlando Magic there. The reason why they're called the Orlando
oh,
Magic.
because they're owned by Disney ish.
Well, I mean,
Oh
it's
no,
where
they're owned
Disney
by the
World.
DeVosses.
Yeah, but it's where Disney. I mean, that isn't Orlando like the home of Disney World?
It is.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah,
I
that's
know
stupid.
things.
No, they should. No, that's fucking dumb. They should move the team to Tampa. They should move them into where the Tampa Bay Lightning play, and you know, everything could be rosy. That'd be fun. You know,
For sure. All in all,
other players just like to go to strip clubs, anyways. I mean, it just gets them closer. You know what I mean? What are we
they're
talking about?
I feel like I feel like they've progressively gotten better and better as the years have gone
At
on. Like the city of Jersey, like the city edition jerseys as a whole have, in my opinion. There's
oh
been
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
By Nike.
like yeah, from Nike. Like there's been less and less like flops, you know? But I will
I
say
cannot say the same about the city editions that they do in the MLB. Nike's still working that out because those are fucking terrible. Christ, the City Connects are absolutely shit.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Well, hey, you ready to you ready to talk the other thing I was gonna bring up when I was saying Russell Westbrook?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that, huh?
You know who else isn't talented? The
Mm.
Lions. Holy cow.
Well,
They
hold on. Their offense really talented. Their defense not talented, and their coaches' play calling and time management fucking atrocious.
they just lost 29 nothing to the New England Patriots.
They did do that. I don't know if that's
They
in.
lost 29 nothing to a third string quarterback,
They did do
offensive
that.
coordinated by Matt Patricia, a team that also only had one win going into this day. The Lions were down 6 nothing at one point in the set going into the second half. And
Uh-huh.
and on multiple occasions went for it on fourth down and didn't get it. They ended up with
They
8
did.
turnovers on the day because of it.
Yep.
8.
Yep.
8.
Well, this is kind of what I'm saying. This is kind of my point, though, right? Like that's a little bit kind of, you know, like,
And it gets to this point.
yeah, all right,
I really love Dan Campbell's energy.
yes,
I love the attitude that he brings to the team, the passion that he has for wanting to see this team succeed.
uh-huh.
I'm wondering how this man got a third grade education right now with some of the decisions he makes on a football field.
I love how quickly the Lions, not you, because you've kind of been consistent that you thought he was kind of, but the thing is that like I love how quickly Lions Nation has just fucking turned on this man.
I've had
It's
some questions on this guy from
hilarious.
day one.
Yes, like you definitely like. I think you and I loved him for the meme, but we both agreed that we were like, I don't think this guy's the answer for a Super Bowl. And then there
I
was fucking idiots who watched Hard Knocks and were like, this guy could win.
well, dude, it's the it's the cycle of the Lions. I was literally just on another pod talking about this last night. The cycle of the Lions fan, where you know you when the season ends, you feel bludgeoned. You want nothing to do with the team. You recognize where we're at.
Yeah.
Like no hope in the world. And
Right.
then you're just like, all right, well, I'm just excited for the draft. And then the draft comes. And for whatever
Sure.
reason, after the draft, every Lions fan suddenly forgets the season before and just sees, oh, well, we have this guy now. We can't fail.
Right.
And it's like, what are you talking about? They're like, and it's like, how many drafts? Because before, I remember before the draft,
Hmm.
the expectations, like both from Woodward, like analysts, but even also like fans,
Oh
was
yeah.
5-6 wins next year. That
Yep.
was the goal. And then for whatever reason, it's not from what we added in free agency because we didn't do anything in free agency.
Yeah.
All we did was free up cap space in free agency. If anything, we have dead money because of guys we cut. This entire year was just consolidating the cap, right?
Pretty much. Yeah. Hmm.
But for some reason, because Hard Knocks looked good, Dan Campbell said some speeches that got people fired up.
To say, by the way, Hard Knocks did not look good. The Lions looked like shit on Hard Knocks.
I'm well aware. But anyway, somehow it got to the point where Ryan Ermani of Woodward Sports, before the season started, said 10 wins, division title, and a playoff win. And it's like, listen, if the Lions made
I think I might have just had a stroke.
we don't even have as much talent as we had when we lost a playoff game in 2014. Where did this playoff win come from? And so that's where
10 wins. First of all, I'm hoping that my
never-
team.
I was excited for our season this year. And you remember that even in August, I was saying 5 wins. Even in September, I think I allowed myself to go up to 6.
I think I was on the train of like 3 or 4, and then you kind of helped, nudge me towards 5 to be generous. But I was like, this team's going to win about the same as they won last year. Like they're going to be like a 3-4 and maybe a tie.
And now we went through what is arguably our easiest part of the schedule.
Oh yeah, they're fucked.
This weekend is our bye week. And coming off the bye, we will be going at the Cowboys on the 23rd.
Jesus.
At home against the Dolphins on the 30th. At home against the Packers on the 6th. We might not win a game, Robert, until November 13th when we're at the Bears, and even then that's not for sure.
Yeah,
Dan Campbell, by the way, still hasn't won a road game. Not this season, Robert.
Ever.
Like, what do you want from me, man? Like it's like when you're faced against Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
To me, that is like the ultimate benchmark of, can you coach, and if so, how well?
Right.
And he got embarrassed, laughed off the field in Foxborough. Laughed off the field. And now, I get to, that's why I never have understood why so many people get so I get football as a popular sport, man.
Sure.
But I don't get why so many people why the team they ride is the Lions. It's like I just don't get it, because you're setting yourself up for
It's because
failure.
they're from Michigan and people are weird about having to root for the team that's nearest them or whatever. Meanwhile, I decided to not do that even as a child, and I was just like, "Fuck that noise, let's go Bucks," and they were just as bad. But now they're
Yeah.
not. Now the thing is, Sean, I don't know where the fuck he got 10 wins, because here's the thing. I'm hoping my team, who won a Super Bowl 2 years ago, can win 10 games. Okay,
That's what I'm saying.
like the offensive line is shot, and my quarterback's going through a divorce, and he's like 80 years old, and I'm hoping for 10 wins. Okay, the Lions. Are we serious? Come on, guys. Let's Here's the thing. I'm all for being passionate about your team. I'm all for being excited about your team. This and that, whatever. Listen. I get it. I rooted for the Buccaneers when Josh McCown is the quarterback. I didn't have any delusions about no 10 wins. Okay. Like if we had gotten over 500, I would have been ecstatic with Josh McCown. And then we got Jameis Winston. And I already did not like that because I wanted Mariota, but I was willing to stick it out, bought his jersey and this and that. And didn't go great. And, I just never really had any delusions about the team being anything more than what they obviously were. And that's the thing that's so strange to me about Lions fans, generally speaking, is that I'm like, I just don't understand where this comes from. Like, I really don't understand where like the delusion part comes from.
Well,
I'm like, I've rooted
well, the
for
short answer
shitty teams.
the short answer is illness. I mean,
Mental illness, mental
yeah.
health.
The other thing. I mean,
Yeah.
fans short for fanatic.
No, I get that, but
But
like,
even then, man, I don't get it. It's because it's like every year, and I know it. Like part of it's just hope. Part of it's just like optimism of like a new season and like a new
I
beginning. Well, it's
mean,
like it can't be worse this time, right? And it's like
but
the
it can
Lions
be.
somehow find a way to go, mother. You must have not been tuning in before, because that's what this is.
I'm just so it really does confuse me. Like I've been a fan of really shit teams, and some I've stuck with, and some I have not. Like I have stuck with the Buccaneers and the Raiders. The Raiders have still not figured it out. They are still shit. But the Buccaneers eventually kind of got lucky and got Tom Brady, and so it seems like they figured it out. But let's just be honest, they got fucking lucky.
Right.
I was a big fan of the Mariners. They still can't fucking figure it out. Like I get it. But the thing is I never had any delusions. I mean, I'd
Well,
be like, oh man, let's go Raiders. I hope they win the Super Bowl. Or Bucks. I hope they win the Super Bowl. The Mariners hope they, go to a fucking World Series. Like I hope for that. Like I don't go in being like a
and
dick.
I don't want to.
But
I don't want
like,
to make it
come
sound
the
like the
fuck
Lions are
on.
just running around like chickens with their heads cut off, because I do feel like I do feel like, as far as like the front office side of things, Brad Holmes, everything that he's done from like a
Sure.
decision making standpoint, ever since he's come into the Lions organization, has been great. The one thing that
Mhm.
was really weird, they hired the coach and the general manager at the same time. They hired
Right.
the coach before the general manager. So,
Yeah,
so
kind of a weird move.
so Brad Holmes didn't have anything to do with the coaching hire.
Right.
I understand, like, if you fire both at the same time, like, I think generally speaking, like, I think there's just more of an urgency to get someone off of the coaching market, because right after the season starts is just when that whole process begins. It seems to me like at some point, Brad Holmes has just got to be sitting up there from his booth, even if he's a Dan Campbell believer, and in the back of his head, he's just gonna be like, when are you gonna let me pick my own coach?
Yeah. Well, I
Like
was just gonna bring that up as like, so if this season, let's say, because we have what, one win?
right.
Okay. So Lions have one win. If they finish the season at or under 3 wins,
He's gone.
he's got to be, right? Like he
Yeah, like
has to be
e
fired.
even though when he was signed on a 6-year deal. So, like, they believed in him. They wanted to give him the time, and
Okay, hold on. How the fuck do you believe in essentially a first-time coach
I
who
don't
has absolutely nothing on
I
his resume?
generally speaking, though, they
I
give
am
guys
so
5
confused.
generally speaking, though, it just seems to me like the normal, like, the standard is like a 4 or 5-year deal, right?
I
So
mean,
they
I get it, but Jesus
Yeah,
Christ. I hope it
yeah,
wasn't for any decent amount of money, because what the hell are we talking about?
right.
I mean,
So
I'm
that's the thing is if I mean,
fuck.
at this point, that's what the
Then again,
season
the Texans were gonna hire Josh McCown as their fucking coach, so
Yeah. But I mean, at this point, like, this season is literally just for evaluating.
oh,
It's
it's
just
chalked.
Yeah. And it's not that I expected anything different,
Sure.
you know? It's just
It's still disappointing though.
well, in the other piece that's particularly disturbing is
Yeah.
that we've had 20, I believe 22 or 23 games now where Dan Campbell's been the head coach.
Right.
And in you can almost chalk up a third to a fourth of Dan Campbell's games
Yeah.
as games lost because of coaching. And
Correct.
when you repeat at a certain point, when someone tells you who you are, when are you going to believe them?
100%.
And it's ironic because Dan Campbell during like I remember during Hard Knocks, he's like, we want guys who when it gets tough, when it gets tense, when we're in those moments where it's the end of the game, things are on the line. We want guys who don't speed up but slow down, who focus in, who lock in. Like this is like that. These are the moments they're made for. And it's so ironic because Dan Campbell is so obviously the opposite of that,
Yeah,
where
he
he
definitely
freaks
shits the
out.
bed.
Yeah. And so it's like, cool. When are you gonna be even keen under pressure? When are you gonna make decisions that puts like how many times can we go for it on fourth down in our own territory and then essentially set our defense up, who's historically bad, by the way, and give them short field? Like how many times can we do
Well,
that as a
and
football team?
that's the thing that makes no sense. Like if you're at your opponent's goal line and you go for it on fourth down a couple of times and your team fucking sucks and they can't do it or whatever. I mean, you probably should have just taken the damn points and taken the field goal, but like I kind of at least
And,
can respect it.
and
But
I
if you're
get
on the wrong side of the 50 going for it, it's just I mean, what are you doing?
and I get at a certain point, like it's like, oh well, analytics, but it's like at a certain
Fuck
point,
analytics.
that's not like screw analytics at a certain point, man. It's just
It's
like
honestly, yeah, it's a
well,
real
like
problem.
well, at a certain point, you gotta like I feel like analytics are just a crutch
Yes.
to explain away bad decision making
100%.
because
And the Yankees were doing that shit for 2 seasons and they stopped.
like there was a time like the Lions went for it when they were down 6-0 to the Patriots and they could have taken their points. They could have
Yep.
taken 3.
Should have done it.
They should have because they proceeded to through the rest of the game lose 29 to nothing because of
Yep.
turnovers, mistakes, forced errors. But like, what if they went for 3? What if the game was 6-3 instead of 6-0? The momentum could have been
It
completely different.
totally changes it. Yeah, because then the other team is sitting there going, okay, they're only a field goal away. It totally changes their mentality and it totally changes your game planning. And you know, especially let's say if they score a touchdown or something like that and you go you kick another field goal, you're just that much closer, you know what I mean? Like you can kind of keep it within arm's length, you know.
Right.
And yeah, they just didn't. They chose to do the exact opposite, put the other team in great position to capitalize, and they did it over and over and over.
Like even week 1,
Mhm.
knowing what I know now about knowing what we know now about the Philadelphia Eagles,
Yeah,
right? You're down a score. It's the middle of the third quarter,
right.
and you go for an onside kick. Knowing what we know now,
Yeah.
probably not the team you should be getting an onside kick against in the middle of the third quarter.
Yeah, in hindsight, it looks so much worse than it did at
But
the
even
time.
then, they went in with foresight, knowing damn well how dangerous that offense was. How many names they like. Even if you
Yeah.
didn't know like how good the Eagles were going to be this year,
Nobody could have predicted what the Eagles were going to be this year.
no one could have predicted what they like. No one thought they were going to be undefeated.
No fucking way did anyone think this was going to be the team.
But we knew they weren't scrubs either. I mean,
Correct.
this team went to the playoffs last year.
Right.
Jalen Hurts, say what you will, had some
Yes.
moments last year where he looked like a playoff quarterback. This year, had moments where he looked like he was an MVP candidate.
Yeah, he looks great.
Age and like even if we didn't think they were going to be this, we still knew they had AJ Brown. We still knew they had Miles Sanders. We still knew they had one of the best offensive lines in football. We still
Yeah.
knew they ran the football pretty damn well.
Right.
And the game happened. But that's
No,
but here's what's frustrating.
Mm.
At the heart of it all. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go
I
ahead.
saw because this highlights my point perfectly. I saw this earlier from StatMuse and I liked it because I just couldn't. I'm still amazed that this is a thing. The Lions lead the NFC North in yards, touchdowns, plays, and points. In our last place.
And this
That's
is kind of what I
coaching.
was saying. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
coaching.
And honestly, that is exactly the point that I was kind of making when you were saying that the Lions are booty, because it's like they are, except that their offense is very much not. Their offense is a great offense. Their defense is bad, really, really bad, surprisingly bad, honestly.
Like even
I
for
had a
even
lot better hopes than this. Like, I thought the team's defense wasn't going to be like fucking great, but
we
it
knew
is bad.
we knew it was going to be our weak point,
Sure.
but like it's even like
It's embarrassing.
Aiden Hutchinson has been like in particular has just, been set up to fail. You know,
100%.
it just seems to me like the way that things are heading right now, I just, like
The
I
thing
don't
is they have the cap room to fix this. They really do, like, defensively.
well,
But
this
to your yeah,
yeah, this year there were some moves they could have made, and like there's still some things they could do to shore things up. This is kind of like the last year where we're eating a lot of dead cap before like
right,
our salary opens up a little bit more.
sure.
So like it is like it's not like it again like
All
it's
hope
not
is
like
not lost, but, like, I think your point that you're hitting the nail on the head is that obviously it is the coaching staff, which
yeah,
the coaching staff, it's kind of what I was trying to say for a little bit there, is that I think they have a rah-rah coaching staff, and that's great, and it's gotten all these guys to buy in and this, that,
except
whatever.
on offense, by the way, the one unit that's doing like except like their offensive coordinator, who's a super analytical mind.
It's true. But yeah, it's just they have kind of this rah-rah thing or whatever, and that's great and all, and it makes for really fun television. But obviously it makes for really bad results on the field. And as fun as having these former players with decent personalities being on the coaching staff are, it's not gonna last. And it's time to kind of let those guys go and figure out what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because
I
yeah, the defense, it's inexcusable how bad they are. They should not be playing this bad, even based on the personnel. I think that they're even with just a defensive coordinator change, I think that can get shored up better than it is now. Can't get
right.
worse. And Dan Campbell cannot continue to manage this fucking team. Like the clock management, the decisions to go for it on fourth downs, the going for random onside kicks at bizarre times, like just the all of this stuff that he thinks he's doing that's like fun and creative is just making the team significantly worse. And yeah, I just
And the thing that's
the
incredible is
season's
through
kind
it
of a
all.
wash.
Yeah, like even through it all, like there's still moments where it's like it just looks like these guys aren't giving up on that locker. And it's like I know there's things about Dan Campbell where like I don't know. I wouldn't even say this is worse than the Matt Patricia era in certain aspects because like Matt Patricia,
Right.
like he because like the difference with Dan Campbell's he'll own up when he makes a mistake. With Matt Patricia, he's still at the end of it all thought he was God's greatest gift to earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
They
I
might
think
have the same results record-wise and on the field as far as losing and things. I think that Matt Patricia lost the locker room and made all of any goodwill we had with any of those players just gone and
yeah,
ruined
there
the
was no
team
silver
forever.
lining with the Patricia era. Whereas
Right.
with this,
With this, some of these guys, or well, all of these guys have bought in, and even if he gets fired, they're still going to be bought in with whatever the next guy is, and we don't just have to start over again and blow it up.
right, like there's actually like a foundation to be
Right.
built upon because of the drafting that this team's done, because of the guys they brought in, and I still like I even like the messaging. I like what the culture that they're trying to build this team around is. I like that
Yeah.
they're trying to build an identity on grit, and like I like that that's their focus, but you know, and again, I'm not trying to make any definitive judgments because we still have 11 games to go this season. In my opinion, I think Dan Campbell deserves those 11 games. I don't think there's a reason to move off of your coach before the season ends, especially with our current coaching staff. Like, who do you want to be the interim coach, right? Like, even if you make our offensive coordinator the interim coach, this is his first year as a coordinator.
Then the whole team just becomes bad.
Yeah, like
Honestly, if I was the Lions at right now, especially since there's no like hot ticket guys on the market to go scoop up anyways, I think you're right. Just
yeah,
stick it out for a little while.
evaluate.
And Yeah, like the team's not going to get worse. They're already bad. The decision making, you know what it's going to be. You know that these guys need to be fired, but
Well,
it's okay. Just let them do their thing for now and
well,
see
even
how the
then,
market opens up.
Well, even then, like I like even like if you know ultimately by the end of the season that like you're gonna have to make a decision on these guys, you
Right.
know? Like I think with that knowledge, like, all right, let's see what these guys do. Like if let's see how Dan Campbell responds, right? Like
Right.
if like let's give him the chance, like if he indeed has to like fire his defensive coordinator and make a switch at that spot. How
Sure.
does the team respond? How do they play better? Right? Like how like through these adjustments, like how does the team respond? Like I am interested to see that, like because I think this is like the biggest testing point of Dan Campbell's career. But like at the same time, I don't know any successful coaching careers or coaching tenures that started like this.
No, I think honestly the bigger problem is not the record, it's the decision making. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just the way that he calls a game. Like for me watching him, I'm like, first of all, if somehow he was able next year with a new staff and some new players and stuff like that, if he was able to somehow scrape into the playoffs, that'd be a fucking miracle in and of itself. But I
Right.
have absolutely zero faith that he could win a playoff game. There's absolutely no way. He doesn't have the temperament to win a early season regular season game. He can barely have the temperament to win a preseason game, let alone a postseason game. Like this dude, I like the guy, but as far as his decision making and his temperament, it's just he just doesn't have that critical clutch, thinking of, what to do at the end of games, but also even worse is he sets himself up to fail all game long by constantly making all of these decisions that just shoot him in the foot, like not taking the 3 points, not just punting the ball away to live to fight another day, and like just all these silly ass decisions that give your team an upper hand that make no sense.
And like it's like when it was like when going for it on fourth down, like because when he started doing it, it was working. And there's still times where it works and there's still moments where it makes sense, right? But again, it's like just because you can go for it on fourth down, and even if you guys are successful at it at a certain point, you got to know where you're at in the game. It's like even
100%.
like like if you and I know what an obvious decision is in a game of Madden, the coach in an NFL game should probably know when it's obvious that you should take your three.
Absolutely. 100%. It's
Like
just
at a certain point,
ridiculous.
the like going for it on fourth down feels like I'm actually watching someone play a video game. It's like,
Yes.
wait, are you actually making these decisions like because you think it's the right decision, or like is this just because like this is what you would do? Like I don't.
Like when you're playing Madden, and we've done this before, and it's like you go for it on fourth down every time like a dumbass, and then your buddy ends up being up like 28 or 35 nothing by halftime,
Yep.
and you're like, maybe shouldn't have done that. Maybe shouldn't have given them the ball at my 30 or 40-yard line
Yeah.
every fucking drive.
Yeah. The
Like,
difference is we can hit rematch after, and we can turn
exactly.
off the Xbox. This
Right.
is the mother NFL.
Right. It's just like it's yeah, absolutely perplexing. But
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't end this pod without talking about it because
no,
it boggles my
100%. No,
mind.
absolutely, absolutely. And I'm glad that you did, because yeah, it's just one of those things, man.
Yeah. Well, dude,
Fucking Lions.
next time we'll record this pod, Pistons season's starting.
And the Red Wings. How would you
Yeah.
like that? The Pizza Palace
Look at
itself will be
that. The
bumping
Pizza
both
Palace is
teams.
open for business again, people. Come
It
on in.
is. It
Come to the
is.
Palace.
I'm excited. The Golden Knights just started their season at the Crypto Arena or whatever, the Staples Center. Jesus.
At
Th-
at the at the Crip.
Crypto.com. Yeah, at the Crypt. Yeah, they started at the Crypt. Sorry. They won their first game against the Kings 4-3, so go Knights go. And then the Detroit Red Wings will start on Friday, so when this is posting. And we will be playing the Montreal Canadiens at the Pizza Palace. So go Red Wings. Hopefully we can win our home opener, our season opener. And yeah, that'd be cool. Beat up on the Habs.
Heck yeah, man. I'm just excited. It's just this is the best time of year when all the sports are starting up,
Sure is.
well, I guess when all the sports are going at one time
For
because
sure.
it's that brief few weeks where obviously we have baseball, we have hockey, we have football, we have basketball. I mean, we have everything. So,
Yeah, it's awesome. And who do the Pistons start their season?
they start their season on Wednesday against the Orlando Magic. So we
At
actually
home at the Pizza
at
Palace?
home. Yep. And not only so it's going to be Cade Cunningham, last year's number one pick, hosting this year's number one pick and
Nice.
Paulo Banchero. So the two number one picks will be going at each other, which will be great.
I have a bit of an awkward situation for two other teams that I love, being the Chicago Bulls and the Miami Heat. Their first game is against each other, so that's a little awkward.
Just a little bit.
Little bit weird. I mean, go Heat because the Bulls are chalked this year. But
Yep.
I mean, best of luck. It'll be fun to watch because at least I get to watch both of my teams at the same time, so that's kind of awkward.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that the Bulls, unfortunately, I think they're pretty chalked. So, but
Yeah, man.
it is what it is.
Yeah, they're not in for a good one tonight.
Just for our friends, our neighbors. Well, our states don't touch, but they're close enough. The Minnesota Timberwolves. Who do they start against? Just to make sure we get the
Oh,
Timberwolf
gee. Let me
Timberwolf report
yeah, let me
for all of our hardcore Minnesota fans that are obviously in the audience. Which is at this point just an old meme because of the fact that we talked about them one time and then all of the comments were about like why they thought that Minnesota was going to be great. And we were just like, we didn't realize we had any Timberwolves fans in our chat, but apparently we have a ton. So whoops.
they open their season on the 19th against the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a dub. There you go. Go
Uh-huh.
Minnesota. How about them Wolves?
Yeah, it's getting cold like Minnesota.
Go like minute. Took the walk to Poland.
Poland.
All right, we got to get out of here.
Oh my God.
Go Wolves. Go Wolves.